for this situation, and of course, generate or develop way forward, the best way we are going to deal with this. We will have different presentations from different stakeholders. We also expect feedback or situations in your respective counties or regions at some time later. Therefore, I will ask all of us to actively engage. This is a consultative meeting. We need all of us to engage and come up with the best way forward to help us, achieve what we intend to achieve. It is, of course, the responsibility of government to make sure the lives of the people and their properties, including now the livestock, are protected during these difficult times. And for that protection to effectively be achieved, we need to have prepared, we need to get ready based on the information that we have been given by the experts to make sure we get ready in case we are faced by this kind of challenges. Going forward, we will have this kind of meeting, of course, with ourselves, and expand it to other stakeholders, including the development partners, and engage constantly, frequently, to make sure we update different situations in different regional counties. I know with this kind of engagement, we will be able to monitor and evaluate every situation as they unfold. And you being our last mile distribution centers or information centers, especially for relief, we need you to actively work with us, share with us the challenges that you face very freely. I know there are challenges. Share with us where you want us to improve to help you, achieve for the government that which needs to be achieved as far as the last mile distributions are concerned. We know you are the people doing that work for the ministry on behalf of our CS. If there are issues that you want us to address and discuss in form of those challenges, please, they are useful to us to help iron out those challenges for the success of this operation. Therefore, you will share with us those challenges. We also ask you, this kind of operation requires, very transparent and accountable, process. Accountability is key. You being the last mile, whatever that is sent to you or to your DCCs through you, accountability is key. And one way to make sure that we are fully accountable is to do constant evaluation, monitoring, and of course, sending in the returns on time. Like I've asked you to share with us the challenges that you may face as far as undertaking these operations are concerned. Equally, one of the challenges that we want you to address is the issues regarding returns. Please, those returns are very important. Their feedback, they help us in accountability. Please make sure you share them with us. And like I said, we want to listen to the challenges you are facing in coordinating this effort later when we have an opportunity to listen to maybe each and every one of you regarding your areas or counties. Finally, before I invite Waziri to give us his remarks, I would like to express our gratitude to the Ministry of Interior for the support they have given us through the regional, through the RCs and through CCCs. Your consistent support and partnership on behalf of the Ministry of Interior has made us, achieve tremendous achievements as far as operation around our ministry is concerned. And we thank you very much and greatly express our gratitude for that support you have accorded us. Of course, the ministry and you are the people representing that ministry. And I am confident we will safeguard, our communities during this period of difficult seasons if we continue with this collaboration and making sure we work together like we have always been and make sure we achieve the objective for our nation and for our people. Otherwise, ninasema tena karibuni sana. Ninawashukuru for finding time within the short notice that we have asked you to come, and thank you for coming. With all those many remarks, it is now my singular honor and pleasure to invite our CS to give us his remarks. Waziri, karibu sana.
Asante sana. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hamjambo. This is a very serious group. Regional commissioners, county commissioners, very serious people. Let me start by introducing myself. I know we have met in the field, several of you. Again, my name is Geoffrey Kirimaboko. I'm the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service. Today, your Kofia Public Service Triangle. But also in charge of human capital development, special program. Napia and Juzi, last week I was given another by the President to be in charge of the Executive Office of the President. So I'm here because of the situation which we are likely to face. And the Executive Order number 1 of 2025 stipulates the functions of the State Department for Special Programs on what we are supposed to do. And given a responsibility by the President of Kenya, and he has stipulated clearly the functions of the State Department of Special Programs, and he has given that mandate as to oversee all those functions were implemented and well taken care of, and we fail, then it means we are failing the people of Kenya, and also we are feeling the President of Kenya. That's why it became important for us to convene this meeting. Let me also thank you all for making time to come, coming all the way from Turkana, from Mandera, from Taita, from Wajir. It's quite a distance. It's quite a distance. So I said thank you so much for finding time to come. And also to the Minister of Interior, my brother Murkomen, the Minister of General Interior, for accepting to have this kind of partnership, this kind of collaboration between the Minister of Special Program and the Interior Ministry is the way to go. Ministries must be able to work together because you are one, we are one government. So we are here because I have visited a number of counties. I've been Taita Taveta, I've been Ramu, I've been Mandera, I've been Wajir, I've been Garissa. I have been in Omambe, quite a number of counties across the Republic of Kenya. And there's something common which when I visit some of these counties, I see, especially those counties which are in arid and semi-arid areas, that the situation does not look very promising. Also, there are other counties which have both agroecological zones. You know, the agroecological zone of some fertility, somewhere very fertile land, and the same county we have very dry, arid places. An example is where I come from, Embu County. We have upper zone of Embu, but the lower zone of Mbeere, very dry. We have Meru County, where we have areas which are very fertile, but also within the same county, areas which are very, very dry and arid. The same case to Nyeri, we have very fertile places, but at the same part of Nyeri, another part of Nyeri, very, very dry places. Especially when I was in a place called Solio, in Laikipia, but it's at the border of Nyeri and Laikipia County. And the situation is not good at all. So we are here so that we know whether the functions or the mandate which have been bestowed upon us by the President of Kenya, we are going to meet those functions, those mandates in a very well coordinated manner. If we don't get information from you on the situation on the ground, especially from the National Drought Management Authority and the county commissioners, because your structure, if it goes all the way to the village elders, you can be able to get every morning the situation in each and every village in your county every single morning, because you have assistant chief, and below the assistant chief, there are village elders, the Bakumi structure, and many other structures which you oversee on a day-to-day basis. So we thought, as a Minister of Special Program, we need to come together so that we can truly understand, other than getting information from National Drought Management Authority, the people with most credible information, accurate information, it is this team. Other than about the issues of drought, we have also visited your counties because of fire outbreak, people, houses getting burned because of different causes. And most of these causes can be, if looked into properly, there's a way we can mitigate some of these fires. Especially in Nairobi County, we have experienced so many fires. We have experienced some fires in Kajiado County. We have experienced some fires in Meru. Some of these fires can be mitigated if we work together properly, if we have the right information, if we synthesize the communities, because most of these fires are in slum areas or in places where they are congested. Also, we have cases of floods, which the ministers, in charge of special program, takes care of. We have some flooding situation in Nakuru, in Naivasha, where the lake waters have come up. We have flooding cases in Baringo. We have serious flooding cases in Kwanza. Kwanza is in Vihiga County, Trans-Nzoia County, which are going on at the moment. We have cases of flooding in Tana River, in Garzen, yeah? Yeah? Yes. So we have situations which also the mandate of the ministry in charge of special program should take care of as far as the flooding issues are concerned, fire outbreak is concerned, issues of drought, and other issues of natural calamities such as landslides. We have some landslides which happened a few months ago in Murang'a County, in a constituency known as Kangema, where almost an entire village has been displaced. The families there are staying in a nearby church because it seems almost on a daily basis. So we have many cases which we need to take care of. And one of the responsibility, key kind of responsibility of the government is to ensure every Kenyan is protected. The properties, the life of every Kenyan, wherever they are protected. And the President of the Republic has placed some of these functions under the Ministry of Special Program. We cannot be able to ensure that some of these mandates are properly addressed if we don't work with you very closely. I know we have worked closely sometimes in terms of crossing offices very early in the morning, in Nyeri, in Nakuru, in Mombasa, and we will be doing that in the coming weeks, sometimes in Western. Because also we have to push. When I was a student many years ago, but I'm not a student even now, human beings, all of us, there's a theory of human resource management that human beings don't write work. See it? It's a theory which earned someone a PhD, those years. So unless you push, that's the time you see some results. So we have to keep pushing ourselves again and again so that we are able to deliver the mandate of the government of Kenya. So I know I have a very long speech here, which I can go through. But I thought it is important for us just to speak often, to speak what I think is what brought us here. We have a situation in Chuka. We have a situation in Mandera. We have a situation in Wajir. I've been in Wajir, in Tarabaj. I have been in Barabara, in Garissa. I've been in Garissa town. I have sent some friends in Dadaab. Sent some friends in other than Dadaab, there is another constituency called no, I'm forgetting the Ijara. And things are not looking very, very promising. it will be a huge disaster, politically speaking. My background is politics a little bit. Silikuwa mbunge. So naelewa maneno, yeah. When we are saying as a government, we have enough serious harvest this year. The Minister of Agriculture is saying we have enough serious, which is true. So in a situation, in a country where there is abundance of cereals, maize, beans, and other cereals, then we have some people in the same country who are starving in Turkana, in other places. That situation does not look good for the government of it, isn't it? So we have to avoid a situation where we are saying we have now a cereals in the country, but we have people who are starving. People will starve if we don't have that information coming from Turkana in a coordinated manner at the right time, so that we can be able to act immediately. So we decided we are not going to wait as a ministry to be told people are starving in Turkana, people are starving in Mandera, people are starving in other places. When I have gone round in these counties, I saw with my own eyes, if we don't do something immediately, in a couple of months from now, we'll be getting reports on our screens, TV stations, saying we have thousands of people who are starving in Mandera, in Isiolo, in Marsabit. I've been in Marsabit, I've been in Rongayan, deep in Ermoro. The situation is not good. I've been in Moyare. I think we were with my friend there.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So the situation is not very good. So we have to do proper planning between now and probably the month of October, so that we plan properly on what we need to do, how the relief food can reach the very vulnerable people in some of these communities, so that we avoid a situation where we are getting images, we are getting reports that we have Kenyans who are starving. And if we are a county commissioner, or even deputy county commissioner, and in your sub-county, we have Kenyans who are starving, then you are failing. Because we need that information so that we can ensure we have relief food to those people, those families, because one of the reasons why the President of Kenya has stipulated the function of the State Department of Special Programs, and one of it is coordination and ensuring there is preparedness as far as the effect of drought are concerned, is keen to ensure there is no starvation to any corner of the Republic of Kenya. There is no Kenyan who is going to starve. But Kenyans will go through starvation if we don't get this information, we don't act at the right time. So we are here so that we can prepare ourselves to have the right time, because I think if the situation, say, in Marsabit, continue the way it is, for another 1 month, we will be reporting cases of starvation in Marsabit. If it continues the way it is, in Turkana, we will be reporting cases, serious cases of starvation. So before we get there, can we get proper coordination of getting this information and proper coordination of distribution of relief food to all these areas? And we know with your help, we'll be able to achieve that. So basically, that's why we are here today. We will not be able to do it on ourselves. The Minister of Special Program does not have its own structure of ensuring this is done. I remember there's a day we had a discussion with my colleague, the Minister, that the functions of a special program is not under the interior, but the people with proper coordination who can help us achieve the mandate of this Minister of Special Program. There's a guy who are seated here, and you have the wherewithal, you have the administration expertise, coordination expertise. You have been in this field for many years. You are very well qualified, very well trained, very well experienced. Sisi tunaomba mtusaidie. Mtusaidia, me and the peers and others who are in this ministry, tutakuwa tukule kabisa. Na tukikuwa tukule, tutakuwa tumeangusha rais in a serious manner. Rais, sinili hapa nikasema sitawahi angusha rais. Nisaidia jamani, tusiangusha rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya. Si ndio? Msiponisaidia mimi nitazama. Na nikizama zitaraka nyumbani. Najua nyinyi mko na retirement, unajua. Yangu inaweza fika kesho. Kama leo saa saba. Wakati ya moja. Mama kwa news. Nyumbani. Lakini wewe unajua. Unajua kama unaweza ongezewa miaka ingine mbili. Panga maneno hizo, si ndio? Sasa mimi niko kwa shida, jamani. That's why I'm pleading with you. You help us coordinate this special program properly, so that the cases of starvation in Kenya isikue hata kona yote hii. Because the president has the resources. The government of Kenya has the resources to ensure there is no starvation in any part of this country. Starvation will occur because of negligence, because of us sleeping on job, because of us not sharing that information at the right time, because of us not being proactive. If we are going to be reactive, there will be starvation. So we have to be proactive. And this meeting was intended for that purpose. We be proactive, we know what we are going to do, we get the necessary data, we don't want to be academic about it. You know, sometimes I tend to think, and for the CEO Kano, you forgive me, sometimes I tend to think NDMA can be academic. No, sometimes. Because NDMA does not have the kind of elaborate grassroots network. So information is a but the guys who can't be academic, they are these guys who are there. The others who are not academic are politicians. They elected MCAs, they elected governors, they elected members of parliament, because they get information on day-to-day basis. There is a value, there is a matanga marifani. Sijui mtoto fulani ana shule fees, sijui shule gani imepelekwa watoto nyumbani because of it. Politicians get too much information on what is happening on each and every corner of their areas of representation. The same case to the people who are seated here. Because you have chiefs, you have assistant chiefs, you have. So your report is not academic at all. It is spot on. Hizo zingine pia tunashangaa. There are some politicians who are senior politicians who are saying that many watu ni koloni. Sana nashangaa. Hiyo ni kweli kweli. Mkitoka hiki ni lazima. Hiwezi mama. Haiwezi. If today we say national administration, ngao tuondoe namna hii kidogo. Even 1 week, it will be chaos everywhere. So I'm saying these are a very important government arm for administration to ensure our country is standing firmly, is intact in all manner of areas, whether it's security, drought, flooding, fires, everything. So jamani, I'm here. My notes are empty. I want to sit here until we finish. I will take notes on what we need to do so that we coordinate the relief distribution, the relief assistance in all areas affected, tujue tutafanya namna gani so that we don't have one Kenya who is going to starve because of lack of food. Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya anasema ya kwamba his government has enough resources to ensure there's not even a single Kenyan who is going to sleep hungry. Ndio kukosa chakula. Ako na maharagwe, ako na mchere ya kutosha. Lakini sasa hii mchere inaweza kuwa kwa stores na kuna mtu analala njaa huko Turkana. Mwingine analala njaa huko Marsabit. Mwingine analala njaa huko Tana River. Na chakula iko kwa store. Are we doing service to these people who have erected their government led by President William Ruto? So that's why we invited you. And on that note, I want to thank you so much for finding time to come. I want to thank the people we are working with under the State Department for Special Program, led by the PS, Ismail, Tarus, who is doing a incredible job. I want also to thank my brother Kano, because the DMA is a very critical arm as far as this is concerned. I was working with him very closely when I was a member of parliament. I used to push him too much. And everybody else. Nasema ni asante sana kwa kufika na kwa ile bidii ambayo mnafanya. Jamani, tusije tukaangusha watu wa Kenya wale wanaishi katika maeneo ambayo iko na kiangazi. Na pia wale ambao wanaishi katika slums in different corners of the country. Pia hao tuwakumbuke wakati tunapanga hii mpango. We have people living in slums which are going through very delicate circumstances, especially the young babies and the old, the elderly. Hao wote lazima tuwashughulikie katika hii mpango maalum ambao rais aliweka kitengo ya special program ya kuwashughulikia. Kwa hayo mengi, mimi nasema ni asante sana. Mmenisikiza yale ambao mnaweza kosoa. Najua wengi wenu hapo na experience na Kiswahili na nini? Tajriba ya miaka mingi ya kukosoa maneno. So mimi niko tayari kukaa hapa kukosoa maneno, tupange, tukarabati kila kitu mpaka tutoke hapa leo tukiwa na njia sawasawa ya vile tutahakikisha kwamba hakuna Mkenya katika nchi yetu atalala njaa juu ukosefu wa chakula. Rais na serikali yake iko na mipango sawasawa, iko na pesa ya kuhakikisha kwamba chakula inawafikia kona yote mahali ambapo kuna kiangazi. Hiyo ndio wito ambao ni ya serikali, hiyo ndio wito ya Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri. Lazima sisi zote tuungane pamoja, tushikane pamoja, kuhakikisha kwamba hiyo mipango tunaipanga vizuri, tunaikarabati sawa sawa, na inafika kona zote za nchi yetu ya Kenya, ikiwa hakuna tofauti yoyote ile inapatikana kwa hiyo mipango. Yule ambaye ni mzee, ni mtoto na ana chakula, serikali yake imshughulikie. Serikali yake ya Mheshimiwa Rais imshughulikie. Na ni sisi kusaidia rais kuhakikisha hiyo yote inafanyika. Nasema ni asanti kwa kufika, na nasema Mungu awabariki nyote na Mungu awabariki nchi yetu ya Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Waziri, for your remarks. They are quite encouraging. We have just had tea a few minutes ago, so I believe we are strong enough to continue the presentations. I wish to request officers from Kenya Meteorological Department to take some few minutes and do a presentation. We are using this screen, I think. We're doing a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So I request our colleagues to give us opportunity to present.
Sorry, we are having a technical hit here. So he's going to get the cable. Looks like, yeah, it's a problem with the cable. So I'm Mary Kilavi, and from Kenya Meteorological Department. So what I'm going to present to you is the outlook for this coming season. And in addition to that, looking back to the past two seasons. To the past two seasons to see how the rainfall performed, so that as we look into the coming season, we have a bit of background as to what's happened. The presentation, much of it is in map format, so that everybody can see their part of the country and appreciate what is expected or what's been happening. So it's important at least to have the screen display. But generally, we want to start talking about this particular season. That's the October, November, December season. Climatologically, that is looking back in the past on average. The rainfall is usually slightly higher over the central parts of the country, over parts of the west, and parts of the southeastern, and not that much over much of the country. But however, it's a major contribution in terms of the percentages, how much of the total annual rainfall contributes to various parts of the country. We see that it contributes to more than 40% of the total rainfall, total annual rainfall over much of the southeastern, the north and the northeastern parts. So it's not much, but it's more significant over those areas. So as we now look at the forecast, generally, can be talking about it, then you'll see the maps later. Let's see if we're projecting from another laptop in the hand. Thank you. So this is what I was talking about, that in terms of climatology, that is on average over the central parts of the country, that's where we have maximum amount of rainfall. That's between 300 to about 600. And and over the western parts of the country, but elsewhere we have less than, we usually experience less than 300 millimeters. But as you can see from this map, that however little that is, it's the most significant over western parts of the country, over the eastern parts of the country and the southeastern.
What about it?
That the amount of rainfall you see from this map on the left, we are seeing how much rainfall is received on average during this season. That is usually about, at most, between 300 and 600 over the central areas. Over the northeast, it's less than 200 over most areas, and on average, at least less than 300. But however little that is, it is the major contribution to the annual rainfall. It is more than 40% of the annual total. So it is the most significant season over the western, over the eastern and the southeastern parts of the country. That means that is the rainfall that is relied upon for the most part over the northeast and the southeastern parts of the country.
And what is the situation now?
So the situation is what I'm about to project, that this is what is expected. The focus is in terms of probabilities, that there is quite a high, where we are seeing the red, or rather orange, it's where there's a very high probability of below average rainfall expected. That we expect less than below average rainfall, there's a very high probability of about 55% of below average rainfall. Where we have it in yellow, that's areas towards the Central Rift Valley.
Yes.
Thank you. So over much of the eastern parts of the country, the southeastern and parts of central, there's a very high probability of below average rainfall expected. That the rainfall is really expected to be highly depressed. And over a small section of the country, that's some parts of the southwest, it's Narok, Nakuru's Central Rift Valley, parts of Highlands East, like the eastern parts, or the western parts of Nyeri, Kiambu, Laikipia, Samburu, we expect above average, but with a slight tendency to, about average, but with a slight tendency to below. And then over a small section of the country, over the northwest, there is a probability, a slight probability, with a slight chance that the rainfall might be enhanced, that is above average,
I see
but not with a very big margin.
even to Canada, there will be more from our average.
Yes, to slightly above, yes.
Than Marsabit
Sorry,
and some part of Marsabit County.
yes, and some parts of Marsabit County, West Pokot, Baringo, Nandi, at least the highlands west of
When do you expect these rain?
when we expect the rains. It should be in the next slide. So this is when, this is a table of the counties, when the rainfall is expected to start, when it's likely to end, and how the distribution is likely to play out. So for the western parts, that's Busia, Vihiga, Kakamega, Bungoma, Nyanza, and counties over there. So, yeah, Nyanza, West Pokot, Nandi, we're already having a bit of rainfall, and we expect rainfall to continue from September into the season, and it's expected to end from the 3rd to 4th week of December. Distribution is likely to be fair to good, and counties in central, that's Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Murang'a, Nyandarua, Laikipia, Kiambu, Embu, we expect the rainfall to start from about the 3rd to 4th week of October and likely to end between 3rd to 4th week of December. But distribution, which is really most important in terms of agriculture, is expected to be poor and likely and fair, between poor to fair. But over the northwest, that's Turkana, Samburu County, as much as there's a slight chance of it being above average, we are talking of the onset not being defined because it doesn't meet the criteria of an onset, whatever that we looked at, it's not well defined, and the distribution is likely to be poor. Over the coastal strip, Kwale, Mombasa, Kilifi, rainfall is expected between 3rd to 4th week of November, with occasional rains in November, and it's likely to end between 3rd to 4th week of December. So generally, that's what is expected. There are more details. Time allowing, we could go into that. This is just to show what are the main reasons why that kind of a scenario is expected. It's because of the cooling that we are seeing over the Pacific and a bit of a dipole that we are seeing over the Indian Ocean, a bit of cooling adjacent to our coast in relation to warming that is next to Australia and region. So when we have that kind of dipole, it affects our rainfall negatively. And this is the La Nina region, what we call the El Nino region. So this time we are expecting cooling. It's already happening, and it's likely then to have negative consequences in terms of the rainfall. This is in terms of distribution, month to month. Already we issued the September forecast, and I think it's happening as we had expected. In most parts of the western parts are receiving some significant amount of rainfall, but elsewhere, we didn't expect so much, but we're having a bit of rains over some parts of the central. October, that is looking back from the time when the forecast was issued. We're expecting that in October, we might have a bit of rainfall over the western parts, and not much over the eastern parts of the country. November, which is supposed to be the peak season, generally it's expected to be drier than average over the whole country, although that doesn't mean that we will get rainfall. So it's relative to the past, that is climatology. And December, we still don't expect much. So this means, Maki, this is just relating it to average. Doesn't mean completely dry. It means that we expect less than average. That's what, in terms of probability. This is just a map to illustrate the onsets that are described in that table. So we can move through the rest. And this is a map that is showing deviation from average in terms of what we call standard precipitation index. And what's significant about this is that NDMA, they have thresholds that they use to classify whether the phase we are in an alert phase or in an alarm worsening phase. So what we have endeavored to do is to come up with a forecast of the same for the season. And what this is illustrating is that there's a very high probability that almost the whole country will experience at least a mild drought. But what's really important to focus on is where we expect severe drought. And this is the most recent runs that we have. We had actually just came out last week that we still expect, we expect a very high probability of much of the eastern parts of the country, central areas, and a bit of the southern parts to experience severe. It's likely to be severe in terms of the way NDMA classifies drought. Severe drought. They have various classifications of drought. They have mild, moderate, and severe. So this is a focus for severe that is likely. And here I've listed some of the counties that are likely to experience severe drought. That's Mandera, Garissa, Wajir, Samburu, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi, Kitui, Makueni, Machakos, Taita Taveta, Kajiado, Lamu, and Kilifi, Kitui. So generally that's how it looks like. And maybe flipping back to the past seasons, this is the probability of exceeding a threshold, maybe like 100, 200 millimeters. The probability is high over the central areas, though that's not much rainfall. Over 400 millimeters, there's very low probability of exceeding that over most parts of the country. And I think for some crops like maize, you need at least between 300 and 400 millimeters. So this is just a snapshot to show what is the chance that this amount of rainfall would be exceeded in different parts of the country. And also significant is the fact that you expect warmer than average conditions over most parts of the country. That much of the eastern areas, we expect temperatures to be above average. So if you combine higher than average temperatures with less than average rainfall, then it shows the reason why the situation is likely to be dire. So this is just performance for the past season, at least the MAM season, that's March, April, May season. Over the western parts of the country, we got more than 75%, that their portions, their parts of the country, like Garissa, Taita Taveta, where they got less than average. So if you combine this with what is expected, it will help us to paint a picture of what is likely to happen. And this is for the June-July season. The rainfall zone is significant usually around the coast and the western parts. And we had just about average rainfall over these areas. Okay. So in summary, saying that the OND season is a short rain season. Parts of the western, central, Rift Valley, parts of the central Kenya expect a normal to below normal rainfall, while the coastal, the region, the southeastern, northeastern is expected to experience below normal rainfall. But isolated places over the northwest, the North Rift Valley and parts of the South Rift are likely to receive near normal rainfall. And also significant is the fact that temperature forecast indicates that for the eastern central part of the country, the season is likely to be warmer than average, while part of the western sector and some parts of the highlands is expected to be cooler. And also for the long rain season, we saw the performance was good for during the MAM season, except that we had pockets like over parts of the south, northeast, that performance wasn't really good. So we'll continue to give updates on a monthly, weekly, and daily timescales, depending on how, as we monitor, we'll see how the season is progressing as we monitor with the oceanic conditions and also atmospheric. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavi, for that presentation. It's quite interesting and informative. I believe there could be some few comments before we go to the next.
Let's finish with the comment. I think we finish and then we comment. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that guidance. We can spare some few minutes and get a presentation from NDMA. I'm sorry for that technical problem. We tested in the morning, it worked, and I'm sure it will work.
Yeah, I think we'll have a very short presentation because whatever I'm going to present, the DCCs are part of the product. And the way we do the drought monitoring every month, where we release our bulletin every month by 9th or 10th of every month. The data is based on the August data for September. We are going to release on 9th of October or 10th of October. I think I can keep on presenting using my hard copy. I had a plan B. In terms of the drought situation, in the arid and semi-arid counties, the 22 counties are actually in normal drought phase, while one county, that's Mandera, is in alert phase. However, 9 counties show a worsening trend and require close monitoring, and these are Tana River County, Garissa County, Kitui, Meru, Turkana, Wajir, Makueni, Nyeri, and Tharaka. They require very close monitoring because anytime they will drift to alert. NDMA monitors, they have a number of indicators to monitor drought. That's the environmental indicators, socio-economic indicators, that is the terms of trade, assets, production indicators. Those are the indicators we monitor every month to be able to come up with our monthly bulletin. And when we looked at all those indicators, we realized that only Mandera is now at alert phase. But for the benefit of maybe the CS and the PS, when we talk about normal phase, it means all indicators are okay, within the acceptable range. The alert is environmental indicators and other indicators are fluctuating outside the normal acceptable seasonal range. Alarm, environmental and production indicators fluctuate outside the seasonal range. Emergency, all indicators are outside the acceptable range. When you look in terms of the drought situation analysis based on the drought early warning system, when you look in terms of vegetation condition in most of the counties are normal to above normal greenness with a slight drop in a number of counties as indicated. Water, there's a serious water challenge in a number of counties, pocket within counties, and pocket within the sub-counties level. And the trekking distance for some of those counties to the nearest watering point is an average of about 9.2 kilometers. For example, in Garissa, while Mandera, livestock is 16 kilometers in some areas. There is also outbreak of diseases in a number of counties as indicated, and the crop, the production is mixed yield. Maize is below average in a number of arid counties due to moisture, stress, and pest. However, we have green grams and cowpeas, high production in Kitui County. Markets, the livestock markets are fairly stable in most of the counties, while the issue of nutrition that affects the pregnant and the small children below 5 is high in Garissa, Mandera, Marsabit, Lamu, and Meru. That requires very close monitoring with a view to provide the necessary support. NDMA conduct decision of food and nutritional security situations per annual after every rainy season. The last time we conducted between 7th and 2nd of August this year. And this data is from the county, which is validated at the county steering group. And NDMA has structures at the county level, sub-county level, up to the village level. And this data is data that is validated by the current county commissioners who are here, who are the chairman of the county steering group. And the finding is we have about 1.76 million Kenyans who are classified in crisis phase, that is IPC. Crisis means there's a gap in access to food. Also there's a gap in terms of even the purchasing power of the common person. And this is affected by a number of factors. One of them is the purchasing power of the community. That is, we have a chronically poor members of our community. The issue of also insecurity also contribute to this. The issue of livestock diseases also contribute to this. High food productions, high food prices, and global inflation also contribute to this. In terms of children, we have 746 children under 5 and 109 pregnant and lactating women in need of treatment. And these are the numbers that are being supported by a number of non-governmental organizations supported by USAID. But I know the government is doing something about it to continue to support this community. Next slide.
Before you go to the next slide. We have 1.76 million people. How many do we have in Mandera, in Turkana?
It's coming.
And the number we have in Mandera, how many tons of, say, food you require for a month or for 2 months in Mandera, in Turkana, in a properly tabulated maybe data?
So the next slide.
Okay.
So I think this is just an explanation of what I did explain, the issue of so I don't want to repeat this slide. Now this in terms of numbers of populations requiring urgent food assistance is as indicated 1.76 million. At the county level we are specific in terms of even the wards. So this is a global in terms of our county, but within the county we have that numbers. Through the CSG, the county commissioners are able to assess that data. And based on that numbers, then depending with the food hampers that special program provide, then a calculation can be done. Terus, I know, is very good at that. He has done a number. We have worked with him closely during the last severe drought. So that is the number we have. So what is important now is to know at the ward level. We are going to give a copy of this presentation, so you don't have to worry. So at the county level, we need to know which are the hotspots within the county. When you see a county like 0, that does not mean that there is no people who are not food insecure. But because of the calculation that's done, you require, it is below the 20% of the population. So that's why you can find a 0, but that does not mean that they don't require any food assistance. And that is in terms of the RACA and I think the interpreter. The outlook has already been discussed, so I think I will not repeat. The projected food insecure between October and January, now that number will rise to 2.1 million. And also, if the rains fails, That's why we had projected to have a mild drought. But if the rain totally fails, then as presented by the weather team, we might have a severe drought in next financial year. Now, what is the government doing? The government is undertaking a number of interventions, and some of the ongoing resilient intervention is hunger safety net program, which covers 8 counties of the arid counties. These are Mandera, Garissa, Isiolo, Wajir, Tana River, Samburu, Turkana. The government has disbursed 716 million to about 132,000 Kenyans in those counties for the past 2 months. We have already released for August last week. What other resilience interventions that we are doing? NDMA is implementing 33 resilient projects in arid counties with the support from the European Union. The projects are identified and prioritized by the local communities. So as we practice what's called bottom-up approach, with a view to strengthen the livelihood and reduce drought impact in those counties. And our focus is mostly on water infrastructure, but also we do restocking. That's an example of one of the projects in Moania, in actually Kitui, to be specific, Wingi Central, where we did establish a sandam, where water is actually taken 10 kilometers from the sandam itself, and it is one of the projects that we expect the president to commission during this Madaraka Day event. Mashujali. Now, what is our recommended priority interventions to be able to address the challenges or the expected challenges? One of them is the issue of food and nutrition, and the CS has mentioned the issue of expansion of food assistance, the cash transfer and nutritional screening, and increase in screening. The issue of schools, we expect school dropout, CS, and that's where maybe there's a need to liaise with the Ministry of Education in terms of the school feeding programs, and also to have a storage facilities for food in the schools. Peace and security, and that's where the diseases, the CCC actually come very handy in terms of peace building initiative to prevent resource-based conflict triggered by migration from one county to another county, with a view to promote coexistence among communities. As we approach towards October, November, December, we see migration of pastoralists from other counties to Tana River County, Isiolo County, even including Meru and Daraka. So that's where we expect actually a lot of conflict. The issue of water, there's a need for emergency water tracking in a number of counties, pockets within the counties, and the county commissioners have actually those data. And the rehabilitation and expansion of boreholes and dams, which is very critical in those counties. Also solarization of the boreholes, so that we stop using the issue of generator, which is actually high to maintain. The issue of livelihood and resilient building, that is strengthening, looking in terms of the livestock disease surveillance, treatment, support for pasture production and conservation, and promotion of climate smart agriculture. Those are some of the recommendations that we are making. So these 5 recommendations are very critical in terms of coming up with a way forward for this today workshop. In conclusion, we have a legal notice 86 of 2021, and that talks about the various disasters and the responsibility for each one of us, both the 2 levels of government, the county government and the national government. And the county government are expected to deal with level 1 and level 2, which is a localized disaster, which it is within the purview of the county government to undertake. So this remains the first level of responsibility of managing disasters risk, which are specific to the function or sectors. If it is water, the first line of water tracking should actually be the county government. If it is the issue of disease surveillance and treatment, should be the county government. And then the national government provides complementary support such as food assistance, and that's why we have a special program, cash transfers and other intervention specific to the function assigned to the national government. Therefore, NDMA is monitoring the situation and will keep on updating the Ministry of Special Program, the Ministry of Asal and Regional Development, our development partners, and the county commissions within the county on how the drought unfolds. Thank you very much, CS.
Thank you, NDMA, for your elaborate presentation. You always come in handy when you want information to make decisions. I believe it's wise we take a break, few minutes break, we stretch, and when you come back, we continue with our program, specifically the plenary discussions. Oh yeah. Thank you. So when we finish with tea, we can do group photo. Then we'll come back and finalize our program. Thank you very much. Let's take like 15 minutes. 20. Thank you. 20 is okay. Then come back and finish our program. Thank you.